The news of the week is that the Major League Baseball has pulled the All-Star game out of Georgia and put it in to Colorado. You know, Brett, you've been out of the game. I think it's 10 years since you retired.
Correct.
And are you surprised to see sports in general becoming this political?
Yeah, and I think both sides, for the most part, want to see it just remain about the sport, not about politics. At least that's my interpretation. I know when I turn on a game, I want to watch a game. I want to watch players play and teams win, lose, come from behind. I want to watch all the important parts of the game, not what's going on outside of the game. And I think the general fan feels the same way.
You know, you were always known as a big locker room guy, a leader of men type. You played, look, so many of the great American athletes are black guys. You played with some of the greats, Reggie White and Antonio Freeman and all this. When you were in the locker room, was there the kind of tension there now seems to be? I mean, a lot of the politics, as American politics always does, it revolves around race. Did you see that in the locker room when you were playing?
Absolutely not. In fact, that was sort of our protected space, if you will, where we could kind of let our guard down. We were in something together. We fought together. We won together. We lost together, and we truly were a family. So, yeah, to answer your question, we absolutely didn't have issues that I don't know what issues there, if any, in the locker room that they're facing now, other than what I hear or assumptions. So if there are problems within the locker room, that's too bad.
Yeah. Eric, you've obviously made your name as a commentator, but you were a big financial guy. You started out in the financial world. Is this all part of, I mean, the NFL is big business. Is this all part of?
Andrew, this is bullshit. Yeah. Is what it is. I started out in baseball first. I was playing for the Pirates and then went into business world and I got into politics. And unfortunately, politics is now overriding everything. Sports used to be there used to be a firewall that whatever happened in DC and in this political world never made it over the firewall into the stadium. It's bullshit what's going on right now. Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner, pulled the All-Star game. Remember, the All-Star game means guys coming from all over the country. It means tourism will come to the area wherever the All-Star game is being played. $100 million in revenue is going to be pulled from Cobb County, Georgia, because of that one move of Rob Manfred. And we just found out today that the likely new stadium that they're going to play the All-Star game in is going to be in Denver, Colorado. Look at the two voting rights. This is an issue over voting rights that Manfred is caving to the cancel culture mob over. Voting rights in Colorado are more restrictive than they are in Georgia, where Manfred is pulling the Major League Baseball game out of. The other issue, Marco Rubio yesterday wrote a letter, and it was terrific. Like him or not, I'm not a huge fan of Marco Rubio. I think he's a little bit too fake conservative. I'm a real conservative. Don't like him. But he wrote a letter directed to MLB commissioner saying, by the way, you pulled the game out of the state of Georgia over their new voting rights law. Are you, Sir Rob, going to pull yourself out of the Augusta National Golf Course because you're a member there? So if you have a problem with Georgia, in sport and kind of promoting sports in Georgia, which you represent MLB, how about you walk the walk, not just talk the talk?
Well, this is the strange thing to me. I mean, I've been an NFL fan for, well, as long as I can remember. And this year is the first year I could not bring myself to watch a game because of the politics. Brett, you actually caused some controversy when you tweeted at one point that you were going to vote for Donald Trump. It all seems to be on one side. You said both sides, and I can understand that, but it all seems to be, I mean, it's controversial for you to support Donald Trump, but it's not controversial for teams to, for instance, kneel during the national anthem. Doesn't it seem that it all goes one way?
Absolutely. It's very lopsided. And whatever happened to your ideas, your thoughts, your beliefs being yours and not wrong, that seems a distant past. I think the people who know me, in fact, I know the people who know me, players that I played with, especially those who I played with for quite a long time, black and white, Hispanic, family and friends would certainly attest to it as well, that by no means are any of us perfect, but I'm the furthest thing from a racist. I think I'm a pretty good guy who cares about other people as well. And I knew that it was going to create a firestorm by, first of all, playing golf with the president, which I thought was an honor, regardless of who that president is. Yeah. And by tweeting my support for then President Trump, I knew that would create some more issues. But, again, I go back to the people who know me and would speak on my behalf in a positive light. And, I really don't worry about it a whole lot. I mean, it's a shame. It's really a shame that we've come to this. But, the old saying, it is what it is.
I just find it tough. I got to be honest. The thing that I found really tough was the stuff about the national anthem and the flag. I understand, we all understand there are always problems in our country and we got to talk to one another and work them out. But the flag is kind of what unites us all. And it's sort of,
absolutely.
Do you find this to be, when you talk to players, when you talk to guys, does anybody feel that this is a good thing, that there should be anti-national anthem protests?
I personally have not really had an in-depth conversation with any present player, or for that matter, former players or teammates. It's been talked about more in passing. I guess the jury is out on whether or not it will be a good thing or not. I think it's created more turmoil than good. But Andrew, I agree with you 100%. I think something has to unite us. And the game or games or sport in the past has been kind of a unification.
Yeah.
Now it's almost like a division. I can't tell you how many people, including yourself, have said to me, I don't watch anymore. It's not about the game anymore. And I tend to agree. Again, it's a shame. It's too bad, but, like you said, there's differences. There's always been differences. There's always been issues within the world, within the country, within our states. But again, something has to unify us. And I felt like the flag standing patriotically, because blacks and whites and Hispanics have fought for this country, have died for this country. It's too bad.
Eric, you guys have this podcast, Bowling with Favre, great name, by the way, but you talk about trying to keep it light, trying to find the funny things and the good things about sports. Are you finding that difficult? I mean, even when you were speaking before, you sound like, I can hear there's anger there. I feel it too. Is it hard to enjoy sports at this point, or do you still find a way in?
We still find there's a lot of fun stories still in sports. And Brett is so right. When you look at that flag, you see red, white, and blue. You don't see black, white, brown, Asian. You don't see those colors. You see red, white, and blue. And people of every single race have died protecting what the meaning of that flag meant. So it's just very hard to see athletes disrespected. I come from an age, and I think everyone here comes from an age where it didn't matter on the sports field what color you were. If you were the best pitcher, you're the best quarterback, you're the best third baseman, you're the best defensive hockey player. It doesn't matter what color you are, you're going to get the job. And unfortunately now everything is race. I mean, everything. How in the world do we get to a world where every single issue has become a racial issue? If you recite the Pledge of Allegiance, it's now racist. I have to somehow apologize for being white because of something that may or may not have probably happened 50, 70, 100 years ago. It's just crazy. I'm blown away, and I'm angry right now. Andrew, we do a fun podcast. We have a lot of fun. We talk about Kardashians. We talk about everything that's going on. We talk about sports. We had Dr. Phil on a couple of weeks ago. Just had some fun. But I have to point something out because this MLB thing hits home so hard to me as a former player. Again, Major League Baseball took the game out of Atlanta, which is, I believe I'm right in saying it's 50% African Americans in Cobb County. If it's not Cobb County, it's Atlanta, Georgia, and took it and brought it into the city that is in Denver, where the ball field, the course field in Denver is, which is less than 10% African American. Now, this whole thing is all about voting rights and African Americans believing that this new Georgia law will prohibit African Americans from getting to the voting booth. But you're going to punish a city that's 50% African American and reward one that's less than 10. I think it's 9.7% African American. It makes absolutely no sense. And I'm going to say here for the first time, I'm going to say it again on TV a little bit later today. MLB is BLM, Black Lives Matter, backwards, and that's exactly what they're doing to the Black Lives Matter movement.